Not necessarily. Okay, I need to... I don't know how to hang up this thing. Good morning. This is John Harder, and I am coming to you from Nayarit, Mexico, with another broadcast number 163, Ways of Building Communities of Wealth, Health, and Prosperity. All right, so what are some of these ways that we can build communities of wealth, health, and prosperity? Well, we pretty much have to do the exact opposite from that which has been done over the past several hundred years, or at least a couple of hundred. It's very likely actually not more than 200 years. Now, I know for those of you who study history and you've been through all the history books, which are mostly lies, there's likely not a word in there that is even true in the history books. Sorry to burst your bubble if you are all into history and you love what you've been studying. I apologize to inform you that pretty much all you've been studying is lies. But that's just the simple truth. So, let's get into something real today, because we can. One thing that's real is abundance is real. And one thing that is not real is lack. Lack is not real. And abundance is real. Lack and limitation is a fake layer of so-called reality that has been presented to humanity for the past 100 to 200 years or so. In which time also they have been changing practically all of history. All of the so-called ancient pyramids in Egypt and many other places in the world, all of this stuff is actually not nearly as ancient as what the books and the writings and that is telling us about these so-called ancient things. Because there is plenty of evidence that this so-called thousands of years old is actually just at the most probably about 200 or so years old, and maybe not even that much, maybe not even that long. This has all been put into place to create the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution, which has faster than ever anything has enslaved humanity through the banking system and the Industrial Revolution, making everything look like very prosperous and very good, very prosperous for humanity, where you could have jobs, easy have jobs and all of that, only to enslave you quickly and easily. That's what this has all been about. Because harnessing all of the energy, the natural resources, harnessing that and selling it to the very people who are forced to buy these things when they don't need them. That is what the Industrial Revolution has been doing to humanity. And now, in order to create communities, local communities that are self-sufficient, self-sustainable, and not only that, but prosperous and healthy, we have to undo all of this. All of this, what is it now? You know, all of this rush, quick, produce mass amount of garbage. We've got to stop doing all that and create, you know, become creators of free units that don't burn energy, so that we can have, you know, so that we can prosper without pouring our hard-earned money and the sweat of our labor into energy that actually we don't need, because we can generate the energy for free. And then we can, in Canada, way in the south, where it's too cold to grow tropical fruits and so on, create greenhouses, powering them for free, with free energy, and then grow those kind of fruits right locally, instead of trucking it, you know, picking it way too green in the tropics and then hauling it all the way to those areas. So if one of the first things that people will probably say then, oh, well, how are people going to live in the tropics then? Hey, don't worry. Don't worry. We'll live like always. Like we always have. Only now we will stop feeding those leeches that run the Industrial Revolution. We will stop feeding those leeches and have local communities that prosper, and so the money, the prosperity will stay home, instead of having us so busy giving all of that away to the industry, you know, the industry hogs or sharks, or whatever you want to call them, the banking industry and as well as the industrial industry. It's not necessary to be so busy barely getting by. It's not necessary. Communities of people can prosper when you sustain locally. You know, you buy your milk at the local dairy farm. Not after, don't send it to the city to get processed and then hauled back into all the stores. Buy it at the dairy farm. You know, milk and cheese, make it locally. Why should it all be hauled, and much of it even to other countries, and then put into cheese, and then you buy it back, you haul it back and buy it? What? That's what we've been doing? That's how we've been, yeah, that's what we've been doing. Yeah. Utter stupidity. Okay? Now, I want to just turn to some other things here. I'm going to share the screen for a bit and want to show some ways of ideas that we have. You know, how we can do this, how we can actually create those kind of communities that I was talking about. And it all begins with a gift. That's right, a gift. A gift that's actually worth over $2,000 and going up constantly. All right. Now, hearing that there's a gift of $2,000, that may be very exciting right away, but listen, in order to take advantage of that gift, you have to come up with $10 out of your pocket. And now, having said that, I realize there are actually very many people in the world where $10 would be an impossibility for them to come up with because of the absolute abject, wretched poverty that they're in. But that we will change when we have reached the multitudes that do have and that can come up with the $10 or even quite easily with the $100 to make themselves millionaires or billionaires, which is something that we're actually going to, I'm actually going to be focusing on here in just a little bit. Okay, so the difference between, let me actually go there right now. The difference between becoming a billionaire or a millionaire is actually not that very, it's not that very far apart. Let me just show you something here. Now, the first thing that you see here when you log into the Kringle.cash into your account is you see the 24-hour and the 48-hour promotion that's on right now, which is actually a great promotion, meaning that a new person that just comes on board can refer two people. Let's say you would join the Kringle.cash and you would receive the $2,000 gift or over $2,000, and you came up with the $10 for the wallet. Would it be possible that you could think of two people that you could share that gift with that would also pay the $10 that you were willing to pay? When you explain to them how they could receive a gift of $2,000 and to be able to access that with for just a $10 one-time wallet fee that would then pay for the transactions for life. Okay, that is really actually how simple that is. And then also share with those people how that they can each reach out to two people and also have that gift. This can literally happen quickly in 48 hours. If you do this within 48 hours, which means it brings in 6 people in 48 hours, and you don't have to do it yourself. You don't have to do it yourself. You refer 2. They each refer 2. That's 6. And you teach them how to do it. And as we follow that pattern very quickly, we could have a huge, huge amount of people very quickly. Right. Now, here's the difference between a millionaire status or billionaire status with just $100 spent? Okay, $110 then, because you do pay for the wallet, which is $10, and you buy $100 worth of coin, which that $100 worth of coin will either make you a millionaire or a billionaire. The difference between that, let me show you. Right here. Here is the chart where you can see what do you get as, you know, once you spend the $100, this is what happens on your, when you stay on the millionaire side, but this is what happens when you stay on the billionaire side. Really, the only thing that we're actually talking about is the $100 purchase here. It's two things that we're talking about, so I'm going to touch on both of those. The rest of it isn't that much different, but this is, of course, when you go to meetings, to the push button meetings, or maybe send button meetings instead. Okay, so you go to the send button meetings, then of course, here's the difference. You get 1,000 cookies for going to the send button meetings, or you get 1,000,000 cookies for going to the send button meetings. Quite a difference, isn't it? For the $100 purchase, you get either 100,000 cookies for that $100 purchase, or you get 100,000,000 cookies. So you get either 0.001 of a coin for that $100, or you get one coin for that $100. And the one coin is billionaire status. What really actually is it that makes that difference? That difference makes from whether you are broadcaster or not. That's the difference. So let's say you wanted to become in the billionaire status. What actually does that take? Okay, so what it takes is you buy that $100, but you do a broadcast where I will actually be happy to help you and bring you on, you know, where I can, you set up so that I can join you on your broadcast, and we'll do the broadcast together. And I have a video created that shows you the exact steps that you need to go through to set up your channel, to set up the broadcast, set everything up. It's all, everything is there. And even claiming your rewards afterwards, it's all there, okay? I have a very complete video for that shows you. And so what you can do is you can bring me on if you don't, you know, if you're intimidated by doing the broadcast yourself, I will do it with you. And that will put you in billionaire status as opposed to millionaire status, okay? Millionaire or billionaire status. That's the difference, okay? So really, that's it. And then, of course, there is some another awesome graphic here that you can go through and see for yourself what the TBC cash flow would be like in comparison to a job or a business of your own or of some sort. Just, you know, just there for you to make up your decision. And you know, to weigh it out for yourself. What do you think? What do you think? What is the best here? Okay, so now this year graphic is about the cash centers, which, well, I think they are in some areas they're doing well. In Mexico here, there's only one so far. Okay, and so then we have this chart, which is a very, this really helps us to focus and look at the time that we could be spending versus getting in gear and make it happen quick, which would be this chart here. This chart here is basically the steps that it would take to get to $1 billion if we look at one person doing 10, referring 10 people, and then those 10 refer 10. That's what we're talking about here. That's what this would. It is actually only 10 steps till we reach 1 billion people if everybody would refer 10 people. It's a pretty short chart. Now, of course, if you do it 5 instead, then it's that much longer. All right. Anyway, it's a chart too where you can look at. Here we have, and here is another. This here, what this chart is for, you can go through and take your time and look at what the current monetary system versus what the difference is between the the bank money, the money that we're now using versus the currency that we could be enjoying by having a TBC as fully liquid for goods and services in the marketplace. Okay. All right. So that is basically the advantages. Now let's just quickly have a look at the steps here. I think I did have, steps in cash flow. Now let's go to this one right here. Okay, so here we have the steps. Just simply follow these steps. You can just go to blog.TheBillionCoin.info, type in the search bar, you just type in steps, and then you do the search, and at this point, it's the second article from the top is the article that has the 23 steps that you should be focusing on if you want to create cash flow. And this is really actually quite simple. It is very simple. And for those of you who are challenged in these as to how to proceed with these steps here, to follow through with them, I will be doing cash flow training shortly. But if you want to get started right now, you can already get started with cash flow training, which will show you where you learn how to actually make that happen. Let's say you wanted to follow these steps, but you're kind of challenged as to what to do. Now, actually, let me just show you another article just by typing in script and then look for that. And what that will do is that shows you an article. Here, which article is it here? Broadcaster leads. The newly updated script run by. Oh, here, updated. Yes, that's it right there. Okay. So you type in script, do a search, and that gives you the updated prospecting script. And what this script it shows you everything that you need to, how do you proceed through that, okay? Now, this can be a great help for almost everybody. If you're, now, again, even going on that steps page, going on this script page, there may still be questions that you might have, and that you might say, well, okay, but how do I some of this stuff? How do I make this work for me, kind of thing. And that is where this comes in, where you go to tbcrandy.com and you purchase a course, a cash flow coaching course for just $10 a week. And that gives you training on how to make this cash flow coaching work for you. Okay? Okay, so that's basically what I wanted to show you in this here broadcast. I wanted to show you how easy it is, how you can easily create cash flow, and that there is training available if you feel challenged, if you if you need help with anything, to get it working for you. Okay, so I'm going to stop the screen share now and acknowledge the people that have come on board here. Agnita Harder, thank you for. Oh, Pete. Okay. Okay. Well, all right. Thanks, Pete, for joining me. I appreciate it. And thank you, Marjorie, for moderating. And again, that's it. All right. Well, that's good. For those of you who are watching this video and you weren't on my broadcast, I'm going to also thank you for watching this video. And if you want to create cash flow for yourself, watch or do the steps that I have referred you to in this video. Just use that information and begin creating cash flow for yourself. Don't worry about finding a button to cash out. That's not what TBC is for. It's not for cashing out. It's for creating cash flow. Now, while we are in the distribution phase, once we're fully liquid, this cash flow opportunity will disappear, and TBC will just become the wealth system, the monetary system that everybody can use to pay for goods and services. Thank you so much for watching this video and hanging out with me here. I appreciate it very much, and peace.